afternoon, good evening, hello. Welcome to another episode of Nathan's Media Minute, where we go into everything media. Today I would like to talk about something that is becoming an ever-growing issue in today's society. It's popping up around the world with the increase of digital media. Today I'd like to talk about playing a game on my Xbox at the moment that's making me think a lot about surveillance, and it's called Watch Dogs. And it follows a character who essentially is a hacker. He uses surveillance and data to be able to control those around him and manipulate them. He is able to hack into video cameras, use bank accounts, use names and information just from people's faces. Obviously, I understand that it is a dramatized world, it's a video game, but it does make me ponder, are we around the corner from having a world like this, where one individual is able to manipulate surveillance to be able to gain all of this knowledge? These questions lead me on to discuss the concept of a Panopticon when referring to surveillance, and with that, I think it's time for a history lesson. Renowned philosopher into the area of surveillance, Michael Foucault, discussed the idea of a Panopticon, as seen here, in his 1979 book Discipline and Punishment. In short, it was a dome where an individual was isolated in front of many spectators who may or may not have been surveying them at a time. The Panopticon was used to try and discipline and coerce individuals into correcting their behaviours. Now, you may be thinking, why on earth are you telling me about this strange dome? Why are you giving me a history lesson? Well, let me bring you back to 2015. Welcome back to 2015, and yes, that did hurt. Moving on, Foucault's Panopticon has been linked to digital media and surveillance in recent times. As Lyon quotes based on Foucault's theory, the prison-like society where invisible observers track our digital footprints does seem panoptic. In the digital world that we live in, we do not know if we're being watched at any particular time, and what's even scary is we do not know who is watching us at these times. Who knows who is watching behind the surveillance cameras that we walk past in a given day? People are able to gain access to our lives and information through just a simple Facebook search. Example of this on a larger scale is the iCloud hacks of last year, dubbed Celebgate, where hackers were able to gain access to celebrities' private information and photos through their iCloud accounts, which they just assumed were private and confidential, as they should be. Some celebrities targeted by these attacks, but not limited to, were Jennifer Lawrence, Kaylee Kroker, and Kate Upton. God knows why anyone would get access to their private photos. All jokes aside, these celebrities believe that their information should be private, as it is designed to be. But in 2015, are we able to say that what is private is going to be left private? The issue in both of the examples I have given so far is one that once again goes back to the idea of a panopticon and relates back to the theme of governance. Issues of surveillance and privacy often come to light when power is not distributed equally. When an individual or a small group is able to accumulate a large amount of power and control, issues seem to arise. In the past decade, there has been more and more mutiny towards surveillance, with although a large amount of society feeling more secure and safe with increased surveillance, those who feel the power balance is not equal have gone to take part in the act known as counter-surveillance. Counter-surveillance, as referred to by Huey, Walby and Doyle, basically revolves around the concept of turning the camera around and equaling out the power. They explain the process of what is known as cop watching being an example of counter-surveillance, which essentially is an uprising resistance of groups trying to surveil those who usually surveil us. It's a method of trying to get back at those who control the power and try and throw the power back into our hands. In conclusion, and to sum it up for you guys, surveillance has both its merits and downfalls. Foucault's theories based on the Panopticon remain relevant in the digital-based society. The imbalance in power, with a minority gaining a larger portion of power, often leads to issues of intrusion and can lead to counter-surveillance. Digital media and social networking has made it very easy for our digital footprints to be followed online. Surveillance gives us a greater sense of security, but can lead to an intrusion of privacy and personal space. All up, it is difficult to say whether surveillance is holistically good or bad, and is quite subjective. I'll leave it to you guys to work out where you stand. That's a wrap for this week. Until next time, I've been Nathan, and you've been